What is going on, everybody? It is your boy Baddog back with another Giants video, and as you can tell in this one, this is dedicated to all the Eli Manning haters out there. Man, haters gonna hate. They're haters. Now, anybody that knows me and knows my work here on YouTube knows that I am not adverse to criticizing Eli Manning. As a matter of fact, I may be more vocal in criticizing Eli Manning than a lot of Giants video makers. And I've been of the advocate that, hey, the last couple of years I said, let's move on from Eli Manning. You can't do it anymore. It's time to move on and get a new quarterback in here. Freely admit it. Everybody that knows me knows I'm not biased at all. I'm not a homer. I call it the way it is. And when he plays poorly, I call him out for it. When he plays well, I give him credit for it. That's what you should do. I have no problem with people criticizing Eli Manning. But it is the absolute haters who absolutely refuse to give Eli Manning any credit for anything that this guy has accomplished in his entire career. Okay, I had one guy on my Daniel Jones and Wayne Haskins video. There's a huge thread on that where I'm going back and forth like three people just say Eli sucks. And say, I had one guy actually say, oh, forget about the 2 Super Bowl years. Just throw those away. Look at everyone else. Look at what else he did the rest of his career. Look at all the times he went 1 and out in the playoffs so he didn't make the playoffs, right? Yeah, because you can just readily throw the Super Bowl years away, right? Because they didn't happen. So you can't look at those good years. You can only look at the bad years. Or the guys will say, oh, look at it. It wasn't Eli. They did it because of a great running game and a great defense. Number one, can you tell me a quarterback without a great defense that really ever won a Super Bowl? I can do it. I can tell you one. How about 2011 when the Giants were ranked dead last in defense, but yet they went on to win the Super Bowl, right? Oh, they had a great running game. Yeah, you're right. They did have a great running game in 2011. They were ranked 30th in the frickin' league. Okay, forget about the fact that in the 2 Super Bowl runs, Eli Manning threw 15 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Let's just give credit to the damn defense and say, well, they win in spite of Eli. They don't win because of him. Haters will do anything they can to discredit any accomplishment Eli Manning had. This guy that I'm going back and forth and says, oh, Eli Manning played the second most games of any quarterback in the NFL. That's why he has all these numbers. When he played the 8th most games, when guys come up to me and just throw out a bunch of crap that they don't even research, it's ridiculous. This same guy tells me his best year was after they got Odell Beckham, after he threw 27 interceptions. He threw 35 touchdowns and 15 interceptions. Wrong. 2014, he threw 30 touchdowns, 14 picks. 2015, 2 years after he threw 27 interceptions, he threw 35 touchdowns and 14 interceptions. This guy says he looked it up and he can't even read the statistics correctly. These are the type of morons that we got to deal with all the time. Okay, I will criticize Eli Manning when it is deservedly so. But I am so sick and tired of people that will not give this guy a damn bit of credit for everything he's done for this franchise. And he's done a lot for this franchise, okay? People also want to ignore the fact that, oh, look at all the interceptions, that when Kevin Gilbride was the offensive coordinator here, his game plan, his offensive system was a lot of deep, risky throws into coverage that hurt Eli Manning's statistics. That's why I say statistics only tell half the story. When Ben McAdoo got here as the offensive coordinator, he was a good offensive coordinator, not a good head coach, good offensive coordinator. But when they had the quick, safe throws, you noticed Eli Manning all the time had career high in completion percentage because the offensive game plan was built for him to complete more passes and get the ball out of his hands quickly so that the pass rush didn't get there because God knows our offensive line has sucked for 6 years. I am so freaking sick and tired of people bashing Eli Manning over the course of his career. Okay, I get people now saying, hey, he can't do it anymore. He's washed up. You know, he don't have the arm strength. I get it. I'm one of those guys. I'm one of those guys that say it's time to move on. I love you, Eli Manning. I love everything you've done. You're the greatest quarterback in the history of this franchise. And I am so greatly appreciative of what you brought to the New York Giants. But I will not sit here and let people constantly bash my damn quarterback without saying something. This freaking guy has done nothing but spit blood for this team, and I'm talking legitimately spit blood, or had his head cut open against the Jets in the preseason, the game in San Francisco where he was knocked down about 20 freaking times against one of the best defenses in football that year, and yet he stood in the pocket, threw it 58 times to over 300 yards and 2 touchdowns and didn't turn it over 1 time. And all the people will say, all the haters will say, oh, they only gave up 17. Kyle Williams fumbled, that's why they won. Yeah, don't give Eli any credit at all. You know, oh, it was a great catch by Tyree. It was a great catch by Manningham. No, that catch by Manningham was all throw by Eli Manning. You can't throw a ball better than Eli Manning threw it to Mario Manningham at Super Bowl 46. You can't. There's not a quarterback in the history of this league that could have put the ball in a better spot than Eli Manning did. In his prime, Eli Manning was one of the best quarterbacks in this league. I'm so sick of this, man. I'm sick and tired of it. I really am. Oh, he's not a Hall of Famer, Baddog. He was never great. He was never a good quarterback. He was average. You're full of shit if you believe he was average. Either that or you didn't actually watch him play. You're just blind sheep. You're going to follow what the media says. You're going to follow what the haters say. Anybody, any fan of any team would kill to have their quarterback accomplish what Eli Manning accomplished in his career. Top 10 in every major passing category and a 2-time Super Bowl MVP. There are a handful of quarterbacks in the history of the NFL that have accomplished what he's accomplished. And yet people, haters, all they want to do is bash the guy. He's never done anything wrong off the field. He's a consummate professional. The guy's the best teammate you can have. He's a freaking leader. He takes more criticism than anybody else. He never throws anybody under the bus. He never lashes out at anybody. People would want to kill to have that guy behind center for their team for 15 years. I think a lot of the haters are just freaking jealous of the guy because their quarterback and their team never accomplished what Eli Manning accomplished. I'm going to tell you a fan base that does not bash Eli Manning. Okay? That's the Patriots fan base. I have never heard Patriots fans bash Eli Manning. Patriots fans have the utmost respect for Eli Manning. Eli Manning beat them twice in the Super Bowl. And Tom Brady is God. He's won 6 Super Bowls. Okay? So if any team could sit there and criticize Eli Manning, it would be them because their quarterback has, blown Eli Manning out of the water. But it's all these other fans. It's NFC East fans who can't, oh, Eli sucks. Eli sucks. Yeah, I just find that funny. It don't matter what you say. It don't matter what you bring up. It don't matter how many statistics you bring out there or how many non-statistics you bring out there. Talk about what he did here, what he did there. All they want to talk about is, look at all the interceptions he threw. He led the league in interceptions 3 times. Maybe he did. He's still thrown less interceptions than Peyton Manning in his career. He's still thrown less interceptions than John Unitas, than Fran Tarkington, than Brett Favre. Brett Favre won 1 Super Bowl. Fran Tarkington never won a Super Bowl. Dan Marino never won a Super Bowl. Okay? A lot of these guys won 1 Super Bowl. Drew Brees won 1 Super Bowl. Actually, Drew Brees wasn't on that list. But my point, Brett Favre won, I probably said Brett Favre won 1 Super Bowl. My point is, Eli Manning supposedly threw all these interceptions, but some of the greatest quarterbacks in the history of this league have thrown more interceptions and have not won as many Super Bowls. But yet, Eli sucks. It's all the defense. It's all the running game. They actually don't know what the hell they're talking about. A guy told me he didn't have a good year in 2011 because he threw 16 interceptions and only 29 touchdowns. But you didn't, again, these are guys that didn't actually watch the games. I freely go back to the game that turned that entire season around, that saved our season, was the game in Dallas. Okay? When we were 6-6 and down 34-22 with 5 minutes to go in that game, and Eli Manning single-handedly brought that team down the field for 2 touchdown drives that won that game, saved our season, and brought us to go on to win the Super Bowl that year. And in that playoff run, he threw 9 touchdowns and 1 interception. He destroyed Atlanta. He shredded Green Bay. And like I mentioned earlier, the game in San Francisco, in my opinion, was his crowning jewel in his career. Showed his toughness, showed his skill level, showed the fact that he never ever bitched at his linemen for constantly having him knocked down every time he dropped back to pass. All he did was keep getting up, pull the sod out of his freaking helmet, get up and make another play. I am sick and tired of people hating on my damn quarterback. I freely admit, I said it earlier, his best days are behind him. I'm ready to move on from him. I will never forget him, ever. He's one of my favorite Giants of all time, and deservedly so. Any Giants fan out there should love this guy. And if you don't love what Eli Manning did for us, I don't care if you love him now. I don't care if you're ready to move on from him now. I understand that. Trust me. And I'm not saying anything bad about it. I'm not telling you, well, you're a hater because you're ready to move on from him. Not saying that in the least bit. But if you don't appreciate everything that this guy has brought to this team over the course of the last 15 seasons, you're not a Giants fan, in my opinion. That's the truth. Haters gonna hate. It is what it is. My rant's over. Eli Manning, you will always be the frickin' man. I love you to death. You're one of my favorite Giants, and thank you for everything that you've done for this franchise. It is Baddog, and I'm gone. Peace!